evening, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Journey TV. I'm your host, Thomas Knights Templar, and this is our other host,
Mary Silvernail. Thank you for tuning in. And we have some wonderful guests tonight, huh?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so Chris George, I'm so happy you're back again.
It's always a
Please
pleasure coming back on the show.
introduce yourself.
I'm psychic medium Chris George. That's who I am. I don't have to get into everything else. I'm psychic medium Chris George. That's it.
That's
Plain and
right.
simple.
You've
He
been
cut
on
it
the
down.
show a lot.
I've been on the show at least 5 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been on the show a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, also on Christine's show, Spiritual Exploration,
I've
right?
been on Christine's show probably
Yeah.
3 or 4 times as well.
Really?
Over the years, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
actually got started because of her. I did a live seance on her show, I don't know, like 15 years ago. And I did the live seance. And then after that, I started actually doing a show with Christine for a couple of years.
Wow, the first show I ever did, I was a guest on Christine's show too, in this studio.
Nice.
Listen,
Yeah.
she's been here so long. Lincoln had
Yeah.
his first show here.
I mean, we just celebrated her 25th anniversary of her
right.
show.
Next,
And next,
the lovely.
Zen Jen.
Zen Jen.
Yes, I'm hearing you guys, and I'm like, oh yeah. I started on Jojua's show on Soulmate Talk.
Soulmate talk, yeah.
So I did that I don't even know how many times, and then I started doing Christine's show, and then your show. So yeah,
My former show.
yeah. So
This is the
it's
new
a
and
lot.
improved show.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I am a psychic medium as well. I'm a Reiki master, hypnotherapist. I wear many, many hats. Whatever you need, I do it.
Okay.
Very good. Very, very good. So,
Go ahead.
and yeah, Jen's been on the show many
Oh,
times
she
before,
was
right?
on the previous show plenty of
Yes.
times. She's been with Christine plenty of times.
Yes,
And she's going to be here plenty of times.
absolutely. So, we have an interesting topic tonight,
Yes,
Tommy,
we do.
huh?
Yes, we do.
Wow, this is great. Okay.
Contact bowling. No, I'm
No,
sorry.
it isn't.
What?
No, remember
I
what you
know
were
what it is.
talking
I know
about?
what's-
Okay, so what were you talking about today?
It's going to be about
Karmatic.
reconciling karmatic issues by the by the end of the year.
Yeah, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
a,
we're going to do.
and a great way to do it is with the help of a medium.
That's
And
right.
I'd like to ask Chris here, so how do you help your clients with balancing their karma?
Well, you know, a lot of my clients, they seem to live their life in the past. They seem to always go back to who they were in a past life, and they bring that into this life. And I always find that to be not the best thing to do.
Detrimental.
Same thing with relationships. I actually
Yeah.
put a thing on Facebook today. You know, if you carry bricks from a past relationship into this relationship, you're going to build the same house. And it's the same thing when it comes to,
That's right.
you know, past lives and bringing
You don't
karma
move
back
forward.
with
You
you.
don't move forward until you pass that hurdle.
You have to leave the past in the past. I mean, you got to acknowledge it. You know, try and figure out what you did wrong or what you can change, and then actually put the steps in motion to actually do that.
So how would you suggest that a person does that? What can they do?
Live for today. Don't live for yesterday. Live for tomorrow. I tell people that I reach so many people. Obviously, that's all I do. That's how I earn my living, and I always tell people, live for tomorrow. Tomorrow's what's important. I mean, you know what you have today. You know what you had yesterday. Tomorrow's what's important. You have to live for tomorrow.
And what you do today affects,
Affects tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So you can't change the past.
No.
You know? So what about you? I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. Did you see her hand up my back to get me to move and talk? Okay. I would ask you the same question what she said.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again, just so that I?
You know, how do you deal with people coming? You know, when people come to see you or whatever it is, a lot of times when they're asking you for certain things, there are karmatic issues that have caused her to come in
Yes.
there or him to come in there
Of
to
course.
speak to you. All right. When you're doing that and you're doing a reading with them, a recession with them, or you're relaxing them and things like that, and they happen to come out, especially in hypnosis, a lot of it comes out. All right.
Right.
If you, you know, how do you deal with them when they come to you with a specific thing that you know was something carried on from a life previous to now?
So it's different. So if I'm doing a reading, those people are not really looking to be healed. They're just looking for immediate ansers,
They
right?
want to know, does Johnny like me?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if it's a reading,
Johnny don't like
I'm
you.
just, whatever. But if it's a Reiki healing, then that's a whole other issue, right? So when I'm doing a healing, and I find that they have all this, karma, most of us, or all of us, have karma that necessarily we don't deserve. It just happens based on your actions and your decisions. So what I do in my healings is I dissolve that and remove all of that karma from them and like get rid of it. And now you need to own up to, maybe you did stuff in another life, or you're doing stuff in this life, and I incorporate into almost like a hypnosis kind of thing.
Well, the
and
hypnosis helps out a lot
Yeah.
in this particular
so
area.
this way
as
you
you
can
well
release
know.
it. Yeah, this way
Past
you
life.
release it, you recognize it, taking accountability, and making amends. I play a lot of forgiveness type mantras when I'm doing my healings, so you can forgive, and then now here you are with this new slate. Now I'm sending you out there to be a good person, so now you can have good karma come back.
Listen, universal law, there's a couple of laws, there's 12 of them. One of them is that, what you reap, you'll sow. Okay, that's a simple explanation for what the actual thing is, but it's called the law of return. All right, another one, okay, is we're talking about this, is that for every action is an equal and positive reaction or negative reaction, depending on what you're putting out there. So if you're going out through this life with animosities towards people, or you're going out with dislike, hatred, all the virtues of evil and negativity, okay, guess what? You're building up a boatload. That thing that Noah built ain't big enough for what you're carrying around, all right? So you better learn to start to dissolve that, because that is going to come back at you. If you do something harmful to somebody else, you can bet your bippy that's going to happen to you.
Absolutely.
Or something to somebody of your family.
Yeah.
Do not draw that negative drama to you. And this is how you keep on regurgitating the same drama. Family dramas. You ever watch these things? A person, generationally, they hate this one side of the family. You ever see that?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I
it's
read people like
ridiculous.
that
Stop
every day.
doing
Yeah,
that.
me too.
Every
Stop
day.
doing that.
So
End the
sad,
feud. Call it a life and move on.
Life is too short, right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you find that? Well, I find that a lot of my clients, they don't want to acknowledge the past. They don't want to. Not that they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to.
They don't want to own up to it.
They don't want to own up to it. That's the better way to say it. They don't.
Very
They
good
just don't
way.
want to. And how could you move on if you don't? At least acknowledge
I know.
what happened in the past. I could use myself as an example. Many years ago, I had just started out doing. No, not just started. Maybe like 17 years ago. So I'm doing this 25 years. So like maybe 16, 17 years ago, I remember I was driving and I just got really depressed because I was thinking to myself, I helped so many people. At that time, maybe hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's obviously a whole lot more. But I'm thinking to myself, I helped so many people. When am I going to get help? And I remember I pulled off to the side of the road and I asked my spirit guides. I said, when do I get mine? And I heard my spirit guide in his southern voice tell me, to progress in your future, you have to make peace with your past. I'm like, oh, great, you're giving me a friggin' riddle. I said, you give me specific things for my clients,
It's the
but you
truth,
give
though.
me a riddle. I said, come on, you got to do better than that. And again, he said, to progress in your future, you have to make peace with your past. And I tell you, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm on the side of the road by Hick Street in Brooklyn. I'll never forget. And I'm there, and it hit me. I said, oh, my God. I have a cousin who was my best friend in the world. All right? She was more than a friend. She was my person. Anyway, we had gotten into an argument, and we stopped speaking. And I felt like she did a lot of really bad things towards me. So I called her. I said, I'm going to call her. I hadn't spoken to her in about 2 years. I called her and I said, Lou, I apologize for everything you feel I did to you, but I need you to forgive me for everything you feel that you did to me, but however it went.
Yeah.
And she said, and she used to call me Christopher, which I couldn't stand. But she said, Christopher, I forgive you. We spoke for maybe 3 or 4 minutes after that, have not spoken to her in 16 years. But I made peace with that. And I left it where it belonged in the past, and I moved on. And I feel like a lot of people, if they realize to just, make peace with your past, it makes it much easier for them to move on for tomorrow.
Oh, you take that load off your
Absolutely.
shoulders.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And I didn't
it
realize
weighs
it.
you
I didn't
down.
realize it until it
12
happened.
steps. That's one of the 12 steps. They have them make amends with the people that they've
Yeah,
hurt,
that's
you know.
one, well, that's it,
Yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend call many years later. I need to do this as an amends, but I want to. I'm sorry. He took me to a Yankee game and apologized and everything. So,
Did he do
okay,
it
I
on the,
forgive you.
on the Voltron, whatever they call that
No,
thing?
that would have been nice.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
good.
But
That's
yeah,
how you,
isn't-
that's how you balance karma.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways, right?
Absolutely.
For this coming year. But you know what, I like what you were saying that you did with your cousin, because you were trying to make it even.
I wanted to make it
And
even.
she was incapable. So that's on her.
And you're absolutely
on
right.
her.
But it's amazing, like you said, like a weight came off me. And
Yeah.
it was instant. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
wake up.
I remember I went home, I was like, I feel good. And I had a cigar, and all was
There
well.
you go.
There you go.
There you go.
You had to El Producto. At that time, you
Absolutely.
couldn't buy the cigars you got now.
Right, that's true.
Okay, all
You know,
right.
past life regression also, you're a hypnotist, and past life regression works very well to balance your karma.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
as soon as you see that past life and you see the karma in it, it's balanced.
Do you ever see, in the course of, maybe doing a reading for somebody, or you have them under hypnosis, and maybe a traumatic incident, maybe a traumatic incident from her past, I'm going to say her or him, because I seem to think that women more believe in this, but like a traumatic thing to do with what someone perceived to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
I have no clue.
Yes, you do.
I'm lost.
Twin flame. I couldn't
Oh,
think of it.
oh.
Okay, a twin
Okay.
flame. The person ever come into you and tell you, and you already know that it's a no-go, but they tell you, say, it goes, I keep on reliving this thing, and, maybe it's from another lifetime, or they're asking you, do you know if it's from another lifetime? How do you reconcile that? Because when somebody's on the beaten path of that, and even if it isn't, soulmate, yeah, I can believe that. But that's very rare, and to have that
It is very
happen.
rare.
I mean, I've had endless, and you're right. It's more the women saying
Yes,
twin
the women
flame
that
or
say that.
soulmate.
I met this guy in the bar last night.
He's my
and
twin
he's my twin
absolutely
flame.
women.
Yeah, I have
But-
endless, but sometimes they're right. Most of the time they're wrong,
Well,
but
they're wrong.
sometimes they're right. And when they're wrong, it's not that they're totally wrong. This person is a soulmate. They're just confusing
They're
it.
confusing.
The problem
They're confusing.
with
Twin flame.
with twin flames is if somebody believes somebody is their twin flame, you can't tell them otherwise. Even if you know,
Yeah.
they're not going
Yeah.
to believe you.
It becomes
Yeah.
wish.
Because,
It's not
It
going to. They're not
becomes
going to believe you.
witchcraft.
yes, because
witchcraft,
they
that's
wish
right.
it
That's what
so
it becomes.
bad.
Yeah.
That is the truth.
I read a lot of people, and a lot of them believe that they're with their twin flame, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just.
But lots of times it's people, I don't know if you guys have found this, but lots of times it's someone who, it's unrequited love.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
Unrequited, not, they're in love, but
the
the
other
other
person
person loves them
isn't.
back, but yet they
Yeah.
really believe it's
So,
their twin flame.
I'll make a
Yeah.
statement, and maybe you guys will believe me or you won't. I have, in all my years, I've been doing this professionally for 24 years, 25 years now. I'm going to say in 25 years, I've encountered maybe 3 people in 25 years that I thought met their twin flame.
I agree with you about
Yeah.
that.
And
it's
people
rare.
would say,
Yeah.
oh, come on, only 3 in 25 years? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
See,
3.
I can tell you something. I mean, as an astrologer, as a professional astrologer, I mean, it shows up in the chart if the person is your twin flame or your soulmate or whatever. But yeah, so
I mean,
it's rare.
soulmates are so much
very,
more,
very rare,
Prevalent.
prevalent.
prevalent
Yeah.
than twin flames.
Yeah, that is. When I get people to say that to me, And, you know.
But the whole twin flame thing is a beautiful concept. But what
It-
people
it-
don't realize that it goes both ways though with a
It
twin
does.
flame. I mean, it could burn. That flame could burn so hot that the passion could be out of control, or it could burn so hot that it could burn the house down. So
Right.
it could go either
It's
way.
usually not
Heartbreaking
a
many
good
times.
thing.
No,
for-
it's usually not a good
Not
thing.
a good thing. So usually, so if they're wrong, that's the way I kind of sugarcoat it, where I'm like, well, you don't want them to be your twin flame because then you're not going to end up with them because twin
That's it.
flames don't
Burn
end
out.
up together.
They
That's
usually,
right,
they usually
Jennifer.
burn
So
out.
they're like, then they're, oh, I said, I think it's a soulmate,
You
and
know,
that's
for a
good
while-
because that's, and then that's how I kind of, I don't
Yeah.
come out and
I
say you're
always
wrong.
push. If people think that they're with their twin flame, and I truly believe that they're not, I will push the whole soulmate thing on them because
Yeah,
it's more
me too,
more
same
like
thing.
It's
that's
more
what it
doable,
is.
number
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Right.
And you gotta remember, a lot of times you meet somebody, have that familiarity with them, it's like you meet somebody for the first time and you're like best buddies, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that's a twin flame, that is
Yeah.
a soulmate, or it is the same soul group, you recognize that person.
Yeah.
And the
Yes,
soulmate doesn't
of
have to be a lover.
No.
Absolutely
Everybody-
not.
You know, women particularly believe just the opposite of that.
Oh, I know they do.
Oh
I know
my
'cause
God.
A
that's
soulmate is not, no.
98% of my
could
clients
have
are women.
A best friend that's your soulmate,
That's
or
right.
your,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
that's just,
That's
and the thing is, with a twin flame, I'm sure you'll agree with me about this, you guys, that it's very difficult to be with a twin flame because you're taking how many lifetimes
Yeah,
of
exactly.
karma, and you're
Yeah.
trying to balance it together.
It's
very
it's
hard.
nearly
Very hard.
impossible.
Yeah.
It's
It
nearly
Very-
impossible.
yeah.
And
Very
like Jen
hard.
said, it usually doesn't last because they burn themselves out. It's too combustible.
Yep.
It could be so phenomenal for a time, but
And then
and then
you
it goes the other way.
Yeah.
You guys broke up, but you were so good together. Yeah, okay. Anyway, with that, to get off that subject,
Wow.
Why was that on your mind?
why? Because I hear people say this constantly to me.
Well, we were actually
Yeah.
talking about it. We were having cigars the other day in the yard, and we were talking about twin flames and how,
Okay.
everyone believes that, they have their twin flame, and I'm like, come on. I
Listen,
said, we got to talk about this on the show because,
Well, you know what's
and people get
happening
angry about
too?
that.
They do. They get
Yeah.
defensive.
Yeah.
But what's
Especially if you tell them
happening,
what they
too,
don't want
is
to hear.
they're-
Right.
They're using it as I want to say almost like a crutch,
crutch.
if they're in an abusive relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
because then they tell me, well, I have to deal with this because he's my twin flame. you
No.
know?
They're
no,
making
no.
this,
Yeah.
I know.
Nobody ever has to
Yeah.
deal with any
No,
form
you
of
don't.
abuse.
Yeah.
Listen, up to a few years ago, to me, a twin flame was barbecues side by side. I never, oh, you just got that one?
I liked it.
You had to
Oh,
look
it
for the
was good.
subtitles
There
under
you
her.
go.
Okay.
I was picturing like the light bulb go on. you know?
That was a good
All right,
one,
baby,
Tommy.
this was on you.
Okay,
You know,
that's cool.
But it's become such a cliche.
Yeah.
Whenever a thing becomes cliche, then it takes away the validity of the actual thing that happens. Are there twin flames? Of course there are. But most of the time, it's a soulmate.
And that is a lot of karma to reconcile.
Oh, you know
so,
it, you know
yeah.
it. And then,
Does
you know what
tie
it is when you have a client that refuses anything but the mantra that they believe, wow, I don't care, unless you're Jesus, and, you're not gonna change that mind.
I was reading somebody just the other day, and her and her boyfriend had just broken up, and I predicted it like 3 months earlier. I said, I'm going to give you like 3 to 4 months. I think it's going to be over, and it happened. And I got a reading. She got a reading from me the other day, and she was devastated. She said, "But he was my soulmate." I said, he was one of your soulmates. I
Right.
said, there will be another.
Right.
I promise you, it's coming.
Right.
And a lot of people don't believe that. They believe that they only have one soulmate, and that's not the truth.
No, it's
I'm
not.
sorry, it's just not.
God wants us to have fulfilling love in our lives.
That's right.
And again, it doesn't have to be a lover. It could be,
No,
it
see,
could be
that-
a friend. It
That
could be.
guy, that
I
guy,
know,
that
but if-
woman, right, was that person's lesson on the staircase to find the right one. All right, so you learn by the mistakes, you're supposed to learn by the mistakes of the past. All right? These people, when I get these people, they talk to me about that, they keep on going to the same. I
the
don't know why
same
I can't
right?
meet a good guy. I said, you haven't changed your watering holes.
But
You
it's,
keep on going to the same place with the same,
but it's very hard when a man or a woman is in love and they, they aren't receiving that love back
no.
from the person
it's
that
not
they love. It's very
reciprocated,
sad and very
yeah.
hurtful, very difficult,
It's the truth, it's the truth.
So that person that tells you that they can't meet a good man, you have to tell them they have to remove the word can't, or it's not gonna happen.
That's right.
Remove that there is no good man, because then she's never gonna find
Yeah.
any. So it's all a matter, you gotta
Well, they
change your
create their
your
own
wording.
negative karma.
Yeah.
Is what they do. And listen, there is good karma out there. You do things to help people out of the goodness of your heart, stuff like that. You develop good karma. You don't want to get rid of that. You would like to unload some of that past baggage.
The other thing is, a lot of people don't put themselves in a good situation to meet somebody anyway. I mean,
what I'm
and I can
saying.
say that from experience, from reading so many people. A woman I read just the other day again is like, I can't meet somebody, And I said, well, I kind of feel like you're not putting yourself out there at all. I said, are you on any dating sites, which mostly really stink? No, I'm not. Do you go out with your friends? No. Do you do anything social? No. Well, then how are you going to meet somebody?
That's it.
How are you going to meet
It's
somebody?
the
She
truth.
thinks he's
I
gonna
know
knock
it.
on her
Yeah,
door.
they're not knocking on your door.
The Amazon guy.
Right.
Hi, I'm the guy that
Well, you
call
never
for.
know.
You never know, right?
You never know,
Yeah,
but
it
that's
won't be the
true.
Amazon guy because I'm on
But-
strike right now.
Also, lots of
What?
times they have that heart chakra
right.
blocked, It's lots
You
of
have a
times.
package coming?
No, had a delivery today.
Well, not every bond is on a strike. It's where the Teamsters are.
Oh,
Yeah, not every Amazon.
I saw
But
them guys on the street today.
What
too.
I was saying is not, a lot of times people have that heart chakra closed down. I'm sure you find that
Yeah.
in your energy healings,
Yeah.
right?
That's when you got to do some space clearing or personal clearing.
yeah,
Yes.
And a lot of people don't do that.
yeah.
A lot of people have no idea how to do that.
Well, that's why they come to,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, right?
I just shovel them off to you guys.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with that,
No, but you help a lot of people, Tommy.
I try.
I know you
I always say, God, put the people in front of me that need my help. And
Yeah.
every time I go out there, I know that I'm not going to this place because they have a problem. I'm going there because they're living within a problem. And then, they break down and cry if I say something to them. You gotta see this. Because once you go there and a person is convicted by your words, all right, then they know that you were here for a reason, not because some other reason. That happens a lot of times for me. A lot of them come to the show. They've come.
I'm sure.
You know,
I've met some people through you. I've met people being on this show.
Yeah.
I met Joanne, and
That's
she
right. She's
comes
great,
to all
isn't
my events now,
Joanne's, she's great. She's just really is.
She's a wonderful artist.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You see
Whoa.
this girl paint? Wow.
Beautiful.
She's so sweet. Because she comes to all my events, and
know.
she brought me 4 wine glasses that she painted, and it's
They're
just
phenomenal,
gorgeous.
right?
They're beautiful.
Yeah. Very, 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 very good woman. I mean, when I met her the first time, she didn't know anything, what I
Right,
do,
and
so-
she told me that.
Yeah, and then once we started to talk, and it's like, we clicked, we hit it off, and she's a good girl, very good person. She deserves all the good things in life can give her.
Can you get someone to come to my events now?
See, that would be good. I think, why don't you guys do something in Brooklyn, something dead center?
I would do something in Brooklyn.
Yeah, something in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's not the middle, but okay.
Of course it's the middle.
Maybe for
Queens?
you.
Well,
Queens is the
I
middle,
grew up in
yes.
Queens. Okay, so
I
would
could-
tell you.
I would definitely do Queens,
All right,
definitely.
we can find a venue
I
there.
did an event in Napanock, New York, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, which is about 2 hours away from here,
Yeah.
maybe 2.5 hours away. And we had, I think, 28 people that came in from all over for that
good.
event. People traveled 4, 5, 6 hours to be there.
Well, what about the event that you recently did? Was that what you're talking about
Yeah,
at the hotel?
At the hotel, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, it was an interesting event. I've done it 15 times, It's a haunted hotel up in Napanock, New York. It's a famous hotel called the Shanley, not the Stanley. The Stanley Hotel is in Colorado. That was from the movie The Shining. This is the Shanley Hotel. And for those of you who watch all the ghost hunting shows, it's been on every show.
Yeah.
It's a world famous place, and I've done the investigation there 15 times. But we rent the whole place out for the night, and we spend the night. We sleep there, and I do readings all night. And then we do an investigation of the whole place. I do some channeling. I did a lot of channeling that night. What was interesting, there's like 3 or 4 spirits that I seem to channel most of the time when I'm there for whatever reason. This time somebody new came through who had been coming through, in on the recordings and stuff like that, and it was a serial killer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And
Really?
he came through really, really strongly.
And there you go.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome. It was people were just like flipping out, and it was good. It was a good
Come
time.
on, what did he have to say? He or she? I don't know.
It's a he.
Yeah.
Were you able to feel like where his energy is?
When I channel, I don't remember anything. It's really, really weird because there'll be times where I'll remember maybe a feeling or a smell or maybe one thing I said. Normally, I don't remember anything. I kind of like when I let spirit in me. What I do is I slow my breathing down and my heart rate down to the point where it's kind of scary, and that's when the spirit could come into you. That's being a trance channel.
Right.
And once I allow the spirit into me, I step out. And the truth is, I really don't know where I go. I know I'm not here, though. The weird thing is,
You trade places to go to where he was?
I
That's
just
what it
step out and
sounds
allow
I
him
don't
in.
think we want to do that.
No,
It's not for everybody.
I don't-
Yeah.
The trance channeling isn't for everybody, and I teach classes on it. And in all the years, really, most people can't do it. So
No, I mean, I don't think you want to go where they
no,
trading
definitely not.
places, what
Definitely
he
not.
said.
Definitely
You
not.
better wear your asbestos underwear.
But the crazy thing about that is, so I haven't done it in a while. I do healing circles. Or I used to do healing circles where I go into a channeled state. The crazy thing about that is when I'm doing a healing circle, I step out of my body and I could see everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But when I channel like a spirit to like where I'm doing my trance channeling, I remember pretty much nothing. Pretty much nothing.
Maybe it's better that way.
Oh, it's definitely better.
Yeah, it's
And
definitely
the truth
better
is,
that
and
way.
everybody videotapes what I'm doing because I don't remember anything.
No, but-
I refuse to watch it. I don't
Yeah, that
like
comes
watching
out-
myself
Yeah.
channeling. I don't like it at all.
You remember back in 1983 when you would give me a read? 1983.
Yeah.
I get people say stuff to me like that.
Yeah, no, me too. I'll get a text, oh, I saw you 5 years ago. Do you remember? No. How am I going to remember that?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
My favorite story like that is I had just started, so figure like 25 years ago. And I guess this was maybe like my 3rd year doing this. I wasn't a professional psychic yet. I was just starting out and everything. And I told a woman, and maybe 5 times in the last 25 years, I've had a spirit curse to me in this way, telling me, F pennies from heaven, look for quarters. This one spirit told me, F pennies from heaven, look for the dimes, look for the quarters. And I told this woman that. This is like maybe 23 years ago. And she found me a few years back. And she says, my real name is Chris Chirillo. I work as Chris George, okay? She goes, are you Chris Chirillo? I said, yeah. She goes, I came to you for a reading like 23 years ago. I said, oh, well, okay. She goes, do you remember me? I'm like, I said, I don't remember who I read yesterday. I said, I'm sorry, I don't. She said, you told me that my father told me to look for the dimes and look for the quarters. She goes, I have not spent a dime or a quarter in the last 20 years. She says, whether I found it or it was in my change, I never spent it. I put it in my jar.
I have an angel jar.
She
I
told
have a
me
jar,
that she went to Italy for 20 days on the dimes and quarters she saved over 20 years.
Wow.
Oh,
How crazy is that?
That's amazing.
that's
crazy.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's good.
Very, very good. I got to tell you, when I do a reading, I tell them right up front, I'm not going to remember this reading. The reason is because, you and I were talking about it earlier, how we go in and out. When I'm in a reading and I'm out there and I'm just given the information, what they what they need. So I never remember. Maybe I'll remember somebody's face, but I won't remember,
I see
what was in the
I see
reading.
people out and they'll give me a hug and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh my God." I'll be like, "I have no idea who you are." I'm like,
Yeah.
"You read me 5 times."
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
like,
know.
I'm
I know.
sorry.
I've heard, I had people who say that, goes, he didn't remember me.
Yeah, and I feel bad, but people have to understand, I do so many readings. There are times I do like a crazy amount of readings.
Right.
And as soon as I'm done with one reading, I literally have to clear my brain.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
then I can't give all of my psychicness to
Yeah,
the next person
exactly.
if I left some with the
It's
person
true.
before them,
Yeah,
you know?
I know
So
exactly.
True,
It
right?
is.
And
It's
I
so
literally
true.
forget
You
everything.
heard that word here for
Yes.
the first time.
I made that word up.
Psychicness.
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
That's why I do a lot of text readings, and I always encourage my clients to do the text readings because this way they could always go back and read the
They can
the
read what you're
text
saying.
thread.
The
you
only
know.
time.
person I do a
Yeah.
text reading with is this one deaf girl from Colorado. I've been reading her for like 10 years and obviously only through text. But that's the only person I've ever done a text reading with, except for I do a special where I do a one-question reading and people send me their question. That's the only other time I do that.
For me it started because I absolutely do not like talking on the phone. I don't want to talk on the phone. So
You should do that.
well,
was
that's
your-
why.
that was your
25
thing.
years. Thank you for calling Verizon. I'm good. so I.
Even today, if
yeah,
I
I'm
call,
good.
she
Like
says,
I
"Tom,
never
thank you
want
for
to talk
calling
on the phone
Verizon."
again.
That's what she says to me.
So I encourage everyone, like, to do the text. So I started it that way, and it's just beautiful for me. I love it. So my 99.9% are on text unless they're coming in person. I'm like, text and in person. If they insist on the phone, I charge more because it just takes too
For
much
me,
out of
in
me.
person, it's a little bit more because it's more personal. So
It is. It is.
For me, the phone is like,
I do everything on FaceTime now.
yeah.
Yeah, everything. For the most part, anyway.
I do mine on jail time.
Jail time,
Yeah, jail time, yeah.
whatever works.
They call, and say, how's everything going? How's the orange doing? It's good? Yeah, no.
If you do like Zoom or one of those, then they can keep the recording and, look at it later.
Well, getting back on subject, okay, how do you, we all have our different ways of resolving that past life, all that karma stuff from.
Well, that gook.
Yes, okay. Now, you've said that you take things out, to get rid of it, okay, first of all, you got to recognize that you're repeating the mistakes of the past because you keep on recognizing the mistakes of the past and you keep on doing it. So you need to
Well,
find
it
a
becomes
venue to get
comfortable.
rid of it. Yeah, you
It
gotta-
becomes a habit and it becomes comfortable.
Yeah.
People
thi-
become
this is-
very
this is-
comfortable
this-
with their lives.
This would be off subject, but how many times do you see people, especially the elderly? My mother was a perfect example of this, right? My sciatica, my ginocchio, that means knee in Italian, right? A spada, shoulder in Italian. Now, here and now, don't make fun of me. All right, Ma, okay? So she would claim these things, all right? And so she had them.
Right.
But they wear them as a badge of honor. I have, somebody, they're sitting around at, I don't know, a pinochle table, whatever it is, and one goes, I have arthritis. I have arthritis in both hands. All right, then the other one's going to trump him. The other one's going to trump him. I got in both hands and my neck. And this goes around, and they don't realize that they are perpetuating that this is going to keep on going.
Absolutely. What about the people who, a person that, I don't know that Jen knows her, but we all know her. I won't mention the name. I'm sure she's been on your shows before. Woman is absolutely brilliant.
Marty?
Okay? Not Marty. Absolutely brilliant. But she lives every day of her life in the past. Every day she's with a pendulum trying to fix something that she did in her past life, and she can't move on. And here she is in this life, one of the most brilliant women that I know.
And she's stagnated.
And she has been stuck in neutral her whole life. She doesn't have a dime to her name. She should be a millionaire, and because she's so stuck in the past and trying to fix the past that she's not living for today. She don't give a damn about tomorrow. She just figures, I have to fix yesterday, so when I come back again, I don't have to go through this again. But you can't live your life just in the past only.
No.
You can't do that.
The truth of the matter is, what really has to happen is you have to go inside yourself.
That's right.
And you have to reconcile with that. And bottom line, with your cousin, that example, that's what you did,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
Maybe she didn't know. It's
Wasn't
not.
easy.
That's never easy. Never easy.
Especially
you
when you're
know?
stubborn. It's not it's not easy.
What would make you think that I would be stubborn?
Well, I am. I definitely am.
I know that, I see that. He has confusion over it. Do I want this cigar or do I want this one?
I'll take both of them.
I'm gonna take this one and spite that one. And he throws it to somebody else, you smoke it. That's what he does.
I do. I have done that. Yes, that's true.
He does it to me, that's why. You know? Anyway,
The other thing is too that, you can ask your angels, your spirit guides, right, to help you with this.
Yeah.
Because what we're talking about here is being able to balance the karma. I mean, we're talking about before the end of the year, right? Because you want to go into a new year and maybe looking at the new year of what you could do in that new year in order to make it better.
you could do cleansing medications.
Yes.
You know, you could do a
So
lot of
many
it's-
things.
Well, I have a question. What do you do with the people who believe that they're talking to their spirit guides and their angels, but they're really talking to their own ego?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's-
And that happens.
And that happens a lot.
That happens. That happens because they want to believe
And
it.
they're only hearing what they want to hear,
And
but
they-
they're not hearing the
This
truth.
is, this
Well, how
is
many
true.
times
We
did you
deal
have-
with
how-
this.
How many times did you have someone come in for a hypnosis
True.
session where they already have what they're gonna say scripted?
No, rarely, actually.
Oh,
There
you've
was
had it
one
happen.
yes, I have had it happen, but rarely. I'm talking about,
They come in with the fantasy that
yeah,
they
but
created
that's
in their
rare for
mind.
me, Tommy.
They
For some
perpetuate
reason,
that
you
fantasy
seem to think that
there
that
could
was
possibly be
something.
no other answer.
Well,
No,
listen,
it's
I know I
rare.
hear that. I
How
believe
about
it.
you with hypnosis? I mean, usually a person, when they come to you for hypnosis, it's because they really want to change
Yes,
something.
yes.
So they're not going to come in with a prescript. The people that come in with a prescript, I've seen past life regression. All right, because they want to believe, like
Absolutely.
their
Yeah.
soulmate or their twin flame, that they had this wonderful lifetime, or the explanation is in the previous lifetime as to why
I
she
feel this
doesn't
way.
love me, or he
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
love
Past
me.
lives is a big thing with me
That's it.
because, years ago, I used to teach at the Edgar Cayce Institute for many, many years.
Yeah.
And I had to stop teaching there because I felt like the people in Manhattan, they all thought they were Egyptian princesses and
yeah,
who
rarely.
was at the Knights of the Round Table and who was royalty. Nobody was, was a wench. Nobody was a fisherman.
No,
And it was just
or a
like-
farmer,
or a farmer.
Everybody was
you know?
royalty.
Everybody was royalty.
Or a
And I was
laborer.
just like, you know what?
yeah.
And that's why I just started teaching classes in Staten Island and leaving it at that.
Chris, let me tell you, the majority of the people that come to me, they really, and I'm sure this is true for you too, they end up, that they were like a farmer
Right.
or maybe a Native American, but not the chief,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's why they came to you, because they wanted you to hypnotize them to make them know that they're not the chief, and then they want to come back and be the chief.
I know, but but
I
what
have
we're
no
talking
idea what I
about-
just said.
What we're talking about, because
Too
I
many
get it,
chiefs,
Chris,
not
what you're
enough
saying.
Indians.
That's right.
Everybody thinks that they were Cleopatra in a
Everybody.
previous
It was-
lifetime.
I taught a class one time, and I
Yeah.
think 4 people thought they were Cleopatra. I'm like,
Oh
oh,
my
yeah, you're all
God,
Cleopatra.
see what I mean?
And I got to,
know.
I'm the teacher, and I
know.
have to be, I have to navigate that. It's not easy.
My
It- it-
most famous one, I told you, okay? It was a young girl that came to me. She was in her 20s, and she had never even heard. I'm doing the past life with her, and she's saying all these things, and she's on stage, and then she's talking about Bobby, and she ba 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 ba. Long story short, Janis Joplin was sitting in my chair there, and this girl, she didn't even know who Janis Joplin was, but that's the most famous
But
one.
see, that's
I don't
pretty
get
cool. That's
famous
very
But
cool.
people.
see, but
That
that's
is,
that's
yeah.
very real.
Yeah, that was very
Because she
real.
didn't come
She
in there
didn't
with a
even know.
preconceived notion,
No.
because she didn't even know who it was.
No,
You know?
no. And let me tell you something.
That's actually really cool.
That is
Isn't
very
it?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was the coolest one that I ever actually, of all the past life regressions. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
They did
It was
really
ju-
deep.
unbelievable.
Only thing I got
And it
like
helped
that-
her.
Yeah. the only thing I
Did
got
you ever
like that-
connect with somebody famous
At Verizon, I did.
at Verizon?
Yeah, I've had so many call in, that were famous. We had a lot, but As far as this, actually, yeah, there was one that, and I'm like feeling it run through me even now talking about it because it was so powerful. He was when Jesus was crucified, he was the one on the left, this guy.
Oh,
It was so
wow.
powerful, and it
Oh.
completely transformed him. When because I told him, where's your cross? I'm being told you have this cross that you used to wear. And he's like, yeah, I kind of got away from Jesus. I'm like, you got to get back to Jesus because you were on his left, and it was so powerful. So for me, that was like the most famous, quote unquote.
For me,
yeah.
remember the school here on Staten Island, the Tanglewood School?
Yeah.
It was like a preschool or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So many, many years ago, I'm going to say, it had to be
You
about,
got the cemetery right behind it.
yeah, well, it has to be about 18 years ago, I'm going to guess. And because it's not there anymore. Now it's gone and it's
Little houses.
condos. But when it was the place, I went in there and they asked me to do a seance for them, for the teachers, in a preschool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll never forget it. So I'm there and there's like maybe 12 or 15 teachers and whatever, and I start channeling spirit. And now, again, I don't know this because I'm in trance, but they videotaped everything and I actually watched it. And I come through and I said, I'm here for you, to this one woman. And she says, really, who are you? I said, I'm your favorite singer. She goes, you can't be my favorite singer. And I start singing An Evening in Roma in Italian.
Oh.
I don't speak Italian,
Oh,
all right?
wow.
I am Italian. I know some Italian words. Dean Martin, I love him. I do not know the words in Italian for An Evening in Roma.
Oh, that's
and I sang
amazing.
it to her.
That's
Wow.
And
amazing.
she said,
Beautiful.
and she obviously starts crying. She goes, Dean Martin's my favorite singer. And
Aw.
he's
Beautiful.
the only famous person that I've ever channeled.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
It just made me remember my medium teacher and we got to the point where now, we like to do this together and see what happens, So we were together one day and we got prints, so that was amazing. Yeah, but he didn't talk to us. He kind of stayed there and we were so excited because we connected with him together. And we were so excited, and he didn't say anything. And then
Well, the truth is, Prince was
He's
very,
Jehovah.
he was very introverted. And,
Yeah, so what
the only
happened
time he was an
was-
extrovert was on stage. He was
Yeah.
very
Very,
introverted,
very
so
So
that
we
makes
kept-
sense.
Yeah, so we kept saying, talk to us, you're here, we see you, talk to us. And all he said was, he had his eyes closed, like in a meditative state, and he said Jehovah, and that's all he said. So, Jehovah Witness, they don't believe to talk, they don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So this was like right after he crossed.
Oh, wow.
So he was still in that, where he still had that belief.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
How about that?
very amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
We were so excited when we came out of it. We were like, "Oh my God, we just
got
talked to
anybody,
Prince."
Did anything come out of the closet for you?
What do you mean, come out of the closet for
Yeah,
me?
any-
I just
any-
told you about the past life regression. What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And what? When I do readings for people?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, did you get Mario Lanza or somebody like that?
No, because I don't bring spirit in
Like
my
bring 'em in,
body.
like
I
that?
talk to them out there.
Yeah.
I don't let them in.
No.
Yeah, I
no,
don't
no,
either.
No,
It's not for
Chris
everybody.
does.
It's not for
No, it
everybody.
isn't. And the reason that I don't do that, I just,
And it's
what do
scary.
I talk-
It's a
no,
scary thing if you don't know
I-
what you're doing.
Well, I connect with the angels. That's where I get all my
Yeah, me too.
information. All my information comes from the angels. So what do you mean?
Did anything in a reading come
Okay,
out?
well, here we go. Not
mean-
in a
I mean,
reading,
did-
but you're
did Elvis
talking
come out
about
and
you were
say-
with,
What?
stop.
I'm asking you a question for
Remember many, many years ago, I guess this was in the
Just pinch 'em under the
90s.
table,
There
or
was
kick 'em
there
under
was
the
a
table.
there was a little boy that they were looking for a very long time, and they ended up finding him in Cheesequake. Well, they actually found his body in Raritan Center. But anyway, I kept feeling him. At the time, I worked in Raritan Center. Okay, Raritan Center, Edison. And when every day I kept feeling that he was very close around, and I shared this with some members of my family, but I didn't say anything, like I didn't contact the police or get into any of that kind of thing. But where they ended up finding his body, they had thought that it was going to be in Cheesequake, Cheesequake Park.
Cheesequake. She's right.
Stop. But it was in the Raritan Center
But he was
where
in the
his
what?
body was.
He was in the what?
No, in the Raritan Center. It's in a huge industrial park, okay? It's also had been an arsenal during the war and all of that. But it's a huge office park. But I was working there then, and every time when I would be, driving home or even driving, I just kept feeling him. And, I just thought that it was because he wanted to connect. However, I didn't realize that what it was, he was telling me, he was actually buried there. That's where
The thing is with
it's
the
a very
police,
sad
the
situation.
thing with the police and the and psychics is
Yeah,
they
I
don't believe in us.
They don't.
I don't do that.
Years ago, I had a friend. His name was Jeremy, and he's from Tennessee, real like hillbilly kind of guy, very funny. And I had just become friends with him at the time. This is like maybe 15, maybe even more than 15 years ago. And he calls me, he's like, Chris, he called me like 2 in the morning. And he's like, I have to ask you a question. I need to know that my grandparents and my niece and nephew are okay. I said, what are you talking about? He said, there was a fire. They were watching the kids, and the house burned down, and they all died in the fire.
Oh,
And I said, Jeremy, honestly, I can't tell you about the kids. I said, because I think your grandparents are dead, but the kids, I said, they're alive. And he says, well, he goes, they're dead. And he hanged up the phone on me. An hour later, he calls me, he says, you're not going to believe this. They found the bones of 2 people, old, adults, but the bones of the kids were not found. So he goes, would you talk to the cops for me? I'm like, well, I mean, if they want to. So he gets on the phone and he called me the Great Kreskin, right? And I told him, you can imagine what I told him, and I hung up the phone. Calls me back. He goes, just tell me what you got. I said, I see them in a 5-mile radius from where you are right now. There's a red door. They're in there. They're in cages. Right? That's exactly my exact words from him. I said, now you go do your job. And I hung up the phone on him again. I want to say it was like maybe 3 o'clock the next day. I get a phone call. They find the kids in a house. There was a red door. There was about 7 kids in cages that they were getting ready to ship out as sex slaves.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Chris.
Yep. That happened like 15 years ago in Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
What do we got, Brian?
Yep.
Wow.
I want to verify Mary's story. The person's name was Timothy Wiltsey.
Yeah, Timmy, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, yeah, Timmy. I
That's
just
Brian,
heard
our
Timmy.
shell answer man.
That was good.
Yeah.
He came in here.
I thought he was saying there was 1 minute left.
So
I'm
did
like,
I.
already?
Me too.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is
That's awesome.
amazing.
But my point is, I mean, he completely dismissed the fact that I was a psychic.
Yeah,
Made
they
fun of me, called me
do.
the Great Kreskin, and then after they found them, guess what? They never called me. They never said thank you. Nothing. The only person that called me was my friend Jeremy, saying, "Chris, thank you so much." It wound up that it was his sister's kids, and she was a drug addict, and she sold her kids for money for drugs.
Disgusting,
Wow.
Huh?
Yep.
Tommy and I.
I've heard that many
It's crazy.
recently-
Crazy.
We
we're-
just did a
But the
show.
cops would not acknowledge me at all.
Yeah.
No, they
wanna
don't.
talk about-
They don't.
We did our podcast, and we had
Yes.
a missing person for about 25 years, right?
Yeah.
And we showed photos of what she would look like now, and anything with children stuff, I'm all in. So is Mary.
She was a little toddler at the time when she was taken. And the thing is, both of us, because I kept telling him, because the girl's sister had come to me for a reading, and I kept feeling as though this little girl was still alive. Then I talked to Tommy about it. He felt the same way, that she had not passed, So it's like you just can feel, when.
Yeah.
You
So
can feel
what
the- you can
happened
feel
to
the
you
life
with
essence.
that?
You can feel the essence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
yes.
was.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
we have, we've brought to the attention of the public that this little girl is missing, and even though it's all these years later, because both of us seem to feel that she is in the United States, huh? Yeah, because she was taken
Well,
from.
what they would do is they would go into third world countries,
That's
these-
right.
these
This
baby
is what
farmers,
happened.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they
I-
would kidnap the kids.
They send them to
Beautiful.
places like Prague and stuff like that. I know that for a fact
Beautiful
because,
little girl.
because I dealt with another woman whose child was taken, and where was she?
It's
In
so-
Prague. It's horrible.
You know, that is the worst. That
Yeah.
is absolutely
Yeah.
the worst. But
So you want to talk about karma? What's going to happen to those people? If you believe in that, listen, I know we were supposed to talk about karma. We kind of went off the rails,
yeah,
but
we did.
you know, I'm going to say
We
something.
always do.
I'm going to say something that I'm guessing at least one person at this table will disagree with me. I'm not a huge believer in karma. I'm just not. I know it's not a popular
I'm
take,
kind of on
and
board with you on that one for some
because
of
I
it.
just feel like
Yeah.
whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. I know so many bad people that have
Yeah.
done horrible things their whole lives, and they're living the life of Riley.
Ain't it
And then
the
I
truth?
see some wonderful people who are struggling mightily. And, you know, where's the karma in that, you know?
Well,
I
it's
always,
when they
I
get
don't
to
wish
the other
karma on
side.
anybody. What I wish is whatever's supposed to happen to you, I hope it happens. If you're supposed to hit lotto, God bless you. If you're supposed to get hit by a bus, well, sorry. I don't call it karma though. I just don't.
It was just a little speed bump.
A little bit.
Yeah, but maybe
Only
it
hurts
doesn't
when you get hit first.
happen
But
in
it
this
is
lifetime.
dissolving, so
A lot of
you
times when you-
probably
yeah.
are feeling like that reality where, because it has been dissolving for many years, we've been trying to, from what I've been taught and told, the council has been trying to do away with it for so long.
With karma?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so it
Well,
is
they-
dissolving.
They've been trying to, I mean, because, Joshua, he always says it, he goes, he's on
Dissolving.
that board,
Yeah,
you know?
He
and
always said
keeps
that.
on saying, he goes, there is no karma.
yeah,
He goes, if you believe in karma, then it's there for you.
then it's there, yeah.
That's
You
right.
know, and
Right,
I
so that's what
believe
I'm
that.
saying,
I
that's your
do believe
reality,
it.
so I don't disagree with you.
But then
or-
again, then you have people like P. Diddy, and maybe they are getting their karma. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, he will
Getting
get
what
it.
they deserve.
He's gonna get universal law, which involves all of us. What you sow is what you'll reap.
Mm.
And he'll get that. And he's in the perfect place now to reap,
Yes, he is.
okay?
That's another sad situation.
Yeah, it is.
Not for him.
More and more things are coming out, and
Yep.
it's just
Covers
disgusting.
a lot of
When you were
people.
saying- when
It's
you were
all,
saying
it's,
before, good
the truth is
people-
finally coming out,
It is.
though,
When you were
so
saying good people
it's a good thing.
have bad things keep on happening to them and stuff like that. Karmatically, that would be their paying it forward to release the negative that they had.
Yeah,
So it's a lesson that
okay,
they have to
I
learn,
get that, but I feel like some people are paying much more than they need to pay.
because we see it on a human level. We don't see it by the karmatic level.
But you don't know what they had that they brought
In the past,
That's
yes,
right.
that's true.
It's also those people are not, you have to forgive yourself. So if you're not forgiving yourself, you're gonna keep getting that and the karma and everything because
Because they keep on
you have
coming
to
back at
forgive
you.
yourself.
Listen, if you can't forgive yourself, you can't forgive others from the heart. You know what I mean? So,
And the forgiveness part of others is extremely important
that's right.
because the ones that carry a vendetta, okay?
Yeah.
And they keep sending that out there, you know, maybe they're not getting what they're hoping that something bad had happened to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
What they're getting is bad things that would end up happening to them, and then they keep,
Because
you know.
especially.
Come
when-
on.
Especially when they're gonna go, those particular people are gonna go, like, say, to sleep. And their subconscious mind gets a hold of the aggravation or the hatred that they feel, or the animosity, or the jealousy. And they don't understand that 8 hours later, guess what? Or 6 hours later, when they wake up,
It's still there.
you're waking
Yeah.
up to it.
It's still there.
You know, the best part of
Yeah.
waking up is not poison in your cup, that's for
Right.
sure.
All
And that's what
negative-
that is.
All
Yeah.
negativity is based in either jealousy or greed, or
Greed.
both.
Jealousy, vindictiveness,
Yeah.
all the lower level things. And I put it to you this way, you know, you need to have faith in who you are and what you do, and remember that a lack of faith or inverted faith is all those things: fear, jealousy, envy, hatred, animosity, all of them combined. These are the harbingers and the messengers of negativity, of negative karma, if you want to call it. I hate using that word. You know, I really do. You know, because I feel like it should be like in a temple somewhere. You know, you know, you know, and, you know, I don't do that. You know, I
You're
don't
too
do
much.
that. I just snap it out of there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to deal with it. That's it. You know,
Yeah, there doesn't have to be a whole big process.
No, it don't. It
No.
don't. But you need to recognize that when you do good for others, genuine good from your heart, without expecting any kind of accolades or repentance or repayment or put it up on a pedestal.
That's
you know,
right.
Yeah.
That's when you truly receive. Because you get exactly what you're wishing for somebody else.
Yeah.
But that works on the other side of the coin. And a lot of these people don't understand that.
It
Yeah.
absolutely does.
They're perpetuating lifetime miseries in their own lives. They're not yours. Because nothing happened to you. They're sending it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Just put up
I
your mirrored
took
shields and set about
my
it.
meditation group to dinner the other night, and I told them I wanted to, you know, give back and give them something. I appreciate they really, really put themselves out there with our meditations and
That's
everything.
good.
So, you know, and that's what I told them. I like to put it, you know, give out, you know. So
You got to give back. You know,
you got to
listen,
give back.
You give from the heart. God loves a grateful giver. All right? So that's how I look at it. Now, here comes Christine. She's going to tell us. Wait. Get ready.
Wait,
Ready?
here she is.
No?
Shane, wrap it up.
Okay, we got to wrap it up. I hope you had a good time tonight. I want to thank our guest, Zen Jen. You know, I find that so hard to say that.
Why?
I don't know why. It's a six
Zen
of-
Jen.
Did you see my lips move?
It's really not that hard.
It's not that
Zen
hard,
Jen.
so-
I mean, it's
Zen
easy.
Jen.
All right, sure. Pick on the old guy. Okay. All right. We're done.
And Christopher George.
We're done.
Thank
I
you
just
for
want to say
coming.
one quick thing. The energy of this show is fantastic. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, both of
Yes.
you. Very interesting guests, you know, the combination of you guys.
It's a good combination.
Very wonderful, yeah.
Thank you.
Loved it. So,
He doesn't have any music for the end.
Doesn't need any music for the end.